Hey folks, welcome back to Let's Play Dynasty Warriors 9. I am the mysterious JG. I really should be getting, I really gotta get back to Neo one of these days, or what audience I had for that LP will have moved on, certainly. And I know I need to get going with, like in the back of my mind, as I'm set to play this today, I'm in a good mood, and this has happened before. I've been in a really good mood, and I've started playing this game, and then by the time the session was over, I was kind of not in that great a mood anymore. But I do not intend to let that happen today. I will just stop playing after one video if I start to find myself getting really pissed off. But that being said, I was thinking about playing some Neo. I was thinking about playing some Fallout New Vegas to get that last DLC done. Maybe even starting on my Halloween special, which I'm going to be recording. I shouldn't mention that just in case I'd run out of time and don't do a Halloween special. But all these things came into mind, and I was like, no, you know what? I'm really not going to be able to get any of these projects going until I either finish off DW9 or at least get through with the Jin story so that I can have it kind of at a place where I could just end it, or I could come back later and give everyone, like, oh, big bonus surprise and do some woo stories. To that end, I was looking at some of the ending scenes today, and somebody in the comments mentioning, yeah, I could play as Jing Tsai, and that would basically end the Shu story. So that might be some incentive for me. I've always had fun with Squeaky Voice Jing Tsai, even though Squeaky Voice Jing Tsai hasn't actually been a thing since Dynasty Warriors 5 and Warriors Orochi 1. Like, those are the only two games that retain Squeaky Voice Jing Tsai. She's been like more like normal voice Jing Tsai since that time. Yeah, like some of the Jin story endings I looked at, out of curiosity, and I think we picked really the only guy who's going to give us an ending that kind of wraps things up. Although it's sort of sad, Guo Hua, or whatever his name was, the guy who, like, has like the skunk hair and is always coughing. His ending is kind of sweet because he's thanking Sima Yi for sparing his wife, and he mentions how Sima Yi must miss his late wife because I guess Zhang Chonghua dies at some point, and Sima Yi kind of laughs that off. But Guo Hua has a vision of Zhang Chunhua, which is kind of amusing. Zhang Chunhua's ending, by the way, is also sort of amusing. Like, you can look it up on the YouTube. It's like 2 minutes long, so it's not a big deal, but it's kind of funny because she teaches Wang Yuanji to cook meat buns, and the whole thing is just like framed like Wang Yuanji is incredibly uncomfortable and finds Zhang Chunhua creepy, but it's still kind of fun because it's like she's basically teaching her to cook meat buns to control her sons, and then makes her promise to take good care of them. Essentially, Zhang Chunhua believing that it is important that the natural order of women actually running things from behind the scenes be maintained. Therefore, here's the power to control my son's life. Just please treat him well. That was kind of weird, but amusing. And then Wang Yuanji's ending, which I'd seen because I actually played through as her, is just sort of generically sappy sweetness between her and Sima Zhao. But now let's continue on with Sima Zhao's ending, because that actually is the closest thing to like one person whose ending will end the game. Oh, I watched Sima Yi's ending too, which I've never seen, and as far as I can make out, Sima Yi doesn't get a death scene in this game because his own storyline ends with him making a little speech to his sons. Like most of the game endings, a very small number of the game endings for their characters are about the character dying. Most of them, even if they have a fairly famous death in the novel, their ending is like right before they would pass away, and it's like them talking about whatever. Like Zhang He dies in an ambush fighting against Shu, but his story ends with him building up the army and being a hero and not getting killed. So other than a couple of guys for whom that's a very important part of their story, like Zhuge Liang's character ending does involve him passing away. Most people, not so much. And Sima Yi apparently they just stopped mentioning him. So I will be making fun of that, but I'm pretty sure at this point in the story, Sima Yi and Zhang Chunhua are both dead, and the story just, like the Dynasty Warriors 9 storytelling device, the narrative functions, whatever, diegetic universe, has just ignored it. So I find that very amusing. I also remember that we were kind of between missions when I saved the game before, so hopefully it worked and we're not going to get some message about the save being corrupted and have to start the act over, because if we do, we will definitely be redoing stuff we've already done. And that might be enough to take me out of this good mood that I mentioned that I'm in. Okay. Seems like it should be loaded at this point. Are we really starting the act over game?
Having finally recovered its strength, Shu resumed its northern campaign.
Maybe it's just giving us this speech, but it's not really
though forced to retreat once in order to fulfill the wishes of those who had come before. Jiang Wei refuses to give up and continues plans to attack. However, the cost of these attacks is high, and some within Shu begin to oppose them.
Freaking
Elsewhere,
eunuchs.
the Sima family had strengthened their hold on power in Wei. But disturbing stirrings could be seen among those who were suspicious of
I'm
the
really
Sima's
hoping that
stranglehold
they
on
just
power.
played this intro
Internal unrest
to place you
and
within the
continued
story, but
fight
that
against Shu.
we've already finished
A
whatever
heavy
mission we did
burden
last
was
time. We
pressing
don't have to redo
down
it.
on the young shoulders of the wounded Sima Shi.
But if we go straight to a cinematic, I will... Okay, good. So we didn't go straight to cinematic. It actually did. Okay, they gave me a little scare there. But I guess they just played that little intro at the beginning because they expect, hey, it's an open world game. You'll have long play sessions. This is not a save load kind of game. I'm playing Fallout 4 somewhat in my non-record... Like, my time I have for playing video games that I'm not recording. Playing a little Fallout 4. And like I noticed the other day, just like the whole... There's a speech check... and there's like no penalty whatsoever for loading if you fail the speech check, and it is luck based as opposed to you must have a speech skill over a certain amount based, which I hate because you just get to these situations you're like, oh, even if I didn't care about passing or failing the speech check, you get experience points for passing speech checks in that game. And as stupid as this sounds, as small as the experience boost is, I just get like obsessive about passing each speech check that I come across. So you end up save loading like all the freaking time. This game, not so much about that, which is probably why they can give you these big long intro speeches at the beginning of an act. Because they're kind of assuming that you actually do want to know. Alright, so we'll use auto run, because I'm just curious as to... Apparently the correct path is to run around in a big circle. Because it really did seem like I followed the path, and then suddenly the path just reset itself. This auto run is no more ridiculous than Final Fantasy XIII, which basically discourages you from actually playing the game at all, and would much rather you just play auto battle all the time. And I bet the programmers wish that they had been given a little more time before releasing the game to tinker with it, so they could have an auto run around the map and inventory management and purchasing feature. Hey, if I'd only used auto running around the map, I wouldn't have missed that one iron bank. Oh good, auto run knows that I don't give a shit about that base. Why did I not just fast travel? I don't know. Now I'm in a quirky mood, folks. I'm enjoying the idea of auto running my way through these maps. Oh, but it won't let me switch the camera angle to behind me. Luckily, auto run did not force us to do some mission for a supply captain. We know that supply captains are amongst the most bitter enemies of the Suma clan, waiting to laugh at the failures of Sima Yi. Like his failure to achieve immortality. because he's dead, even though the game hasn't told us that yet. I'm almost positive that Suma Shi's big injury, the big injury angle they did with him, where like he gets taken out on a stretcher and have a referee throwing up the big X sign to show you that it's a shoot. I'm almost positive all that happens after the death of Sima Yi and, of course, Zhang Chunhua. This game doesn't have a terrible soundtrack, actually. Oh, never mind. I guess we do get to see him die. No, we get to see Sima Shi die.
Damn, this is all because that wound you took back in the battlefield.
What will father and mother say?
If father were here, he would call you a fool.
But he's dead too, isn't he? I'm not sure.
There's no profit in regretting what is past.
There is no profit in revenge.
Now, I understand my fate completely.
My fate is to be a Commedia dell'arte
It's
character.
my fate to bridge the gap that grew between you and the Sima family line.
I didn't know there was a gap between me and the family line. I thought I was a good son.
There's way too much responsibility for me to bear.
Zhao, these are Master Shi's final words.
Just, yeah, no, thank you.
Grave them on your soul.
Yes, he has.
Chung, how dare you?
But he is correct.
Zhao, my final act.
Actually, why is Jia Chong in the room for this?
Draw together those with talent. Open a path to a new age, to the future of Zhao.
You, Angie, you're a girl. You could be crying here. It wouldn't make you less of a strong character, and it would actually add a little emotion to the proceedings.
Brother.
These are his final words. Engrave them on your soul. Brother, stop being a fuck. I shouldn't have talked over that. That was like the worst. Brother. Liquid Snake would be ashamed of you, Suma Zhao. Brother! Yeah. So, I guess we have our confirmation Sima Yi and Zhang Chunhua are dead, and it comes in the form of Sima Shi saying something in his death scene about if Sima Yi were here. So that's the end of Sima Shi's story. That puts us pretty damn close to the end. Oh, what's this?
I hear that Master Sima Shi's injuries are quite severe. He was forced to cede power to his younger brother.
And
Master Sima Zhao.
he's dead too.
That is quite the stroke of luck for our cause. Master Sima Zhao is nothing like his father or brother. I have a feeling the end is near for the Sima clan.
Oh, hey you, Angie. Nice to see you.
What are you saying? The only reason Wei's been able to face the other two kingdoms is because of the leadership of Master Sima Yi and Master Sima Shi.
Well, yeah, but
If the Sima clan doesn't take charge, Wei will fade into obscurity. Is Master Sima Zhao up for the challenge, though?
oh, but we probably shouldn't be talking about this in front of you, Angie. I mean, come on, we all see her right there, right? I mean, do you accept the challenge,
I have been
Zhao?
appointed as General who pacifies the West by the Wei Emperor, Lord Cao Mao.
Mao.
We have just received word that Shu has invaded our territory once more.
Jerks.
I intend to fulfill my duty as General by meeting their forces in battle at Duagu. I would very much appreciate any assistance you could provide, Master Sima Zhao.
We will fight
in this
them on
battle.
the road to the temple of Josie.
I see.
Dwago.
Unfortunately, the Emperor has charged me with the defense of Xucheng.
Which is surrounded by Wei
Then
territory.
why not allow me to go in your stead? I will head for Luoyang and provide assistance to Master Dang Ai from the rear.
I bet you'd like that.
I suppose so.
There's no way you'd betray me, right?
Master Zhugo Dan, with all due respect, Master Sima Zhao is who we are asking for. You lose your head at the slightest provocation, and with it the ability to make the simplest decision. It's hard to say whether you would be any help at all.
Prove him wrong by losing your temper.
How dare you?
Zhang Hui, that's extremely rude.
Totally accurate, though.
Forgive me. I only said what I did because you are trying to get out of the battle, my lord.
Oh, well, that's fine then.
I have certain connections.
Wait,
with
how does he not
Emperor.
stab him
If
for
you
that?
would like, I could have a word with him and encourage him to allow you to go to Duangu.
You think you know the
Master
Emperor better than I
Zhao,
do?
I know this is not how you like to do things, but perhaps you should accept Master Zhang Hui's offer.
Zhang Hui seems
Yes,
trustworthy.
I think I should. Thank you, Zhang Wei.
I am
Wait,
most grateful
Zhang
for
Hu-
the wise decision you have
That
made.
sounds like Zhang Wei. Now
we
I'm
will head to
confused.
Duangu first, where we will wait for you to join us. Come, Master Deng Ai.
Heal.
Listen, Zhugo Dan. I have another task I would like you to help me with.
If you and I were both to lay with you, Angie,
land of
who's to
Shou
say
Chun is
whose
currently
issue our
beset
child
with
would be?
persistent
Sorry.
rebellion.
That was...
The
I'll
people
explain
there
that in a
have
second.
great
That was weird, I know.
respect for you. I would like you to restore the peace there. Shou Chun lies on the border between Wei and Wu. This task will also make you responsible for dealing with Wu. I need you to do this, Zhugo Dan. You're the only one I trust.
And my trust is incredibly
I must
misplaced.
admit that I was insulted by the rejection of my proposal earlier. However, it is a great honor to be given such a significant responsibility, and to know that I am the only one capable of carrying it out.
It makes me want to weep all over my
You
ascot.
may leave Shou Chun and our relations with Wu in my hands, if you will excuse me.
Are you sure about this? Guan Chu Jian was just as popular with the people, you know.
Jia Chong, I wish you wouldn't verbalize every single concern you have for future disharmony.
I actually have hundreds more that
Master Sima Yi's dying words were not to trust anyone. Have you forgotten that?
Those were also the dying words of Stone Cold
No.
Steve Ace.
I simply felt that leaving
DTA.
Zhugo Dan in Luoyang was even more dangerous. They say that Guan Chu Jian had a secret missive on him that was sent from Luoyang.
So you suspect that elements encouraging civil unrest may be in Luoyang, I see. I will investigate the matter.
That was a weird read.
In Luoyang, I see.
Thank you. Although, I almost dread to learn what you will find.
He's Judge Dredd. I am the law.
Zhao.
Oh, everyone just disappeared. Okay, so the weird thing I was saying earlier. I don't remember the name of it. It's some book version of La Mort Arthur that's like I think it was written by a woman, I want to say. There's a whole lot of sex in it, and one of the things that happens in the book is that like Arthur does not seem to be able to sire a child with Guinevere. So one of the things that happens in that particular version of the story is that Guinevere proposes that she and Arthur and Lancelot have a three-way, and if a child comes out of it, hey, who's to say it's not Arthur's? Later in the book, Guinevere gets upset because she says that Arthur enjoyed the Lancelot part of the three-way more than the Guinevere part. It's fucking weird, and I'm sorry that I referenced it. Can't remember the other thing. Oh yeah, Stone Cold Steve Austin, famous for yelling, famous for, like, at least once in his career, he really amused the hell out of me because he said, DTA, don't never trust nobody, which would not, of course, be DTA. Alright, so we're off to some battle with Zhang Wei to give Zhuge Dan time to betray us. I mean, it's important that you give him time to betray you, otherwise the plot really can't get moving. I've actually kind of enjoyed the idea of auto-run. That just leaves me free to deliver silly commentary and reference Arthurian three-ways instead of getting on with the story. Wait, how far do we have to go to this? Oh, that's a frickin' long way away. Okay, never mind. Let's fast travel for this. I guess it's broadly accurate that Sima Zhao would be operating out of Luoyang, but I don't see the need for him to go back to Luoyang for every single the end of every single plot thing. He could have just won that last battle and gone to Chenkang, but whatever. I suppose I'd be griping about the inaccuracy of it if that happened.
What's the situation, Deng Ai?
Zhang Hui keeps staring at me.
The Shu forces have secured key locations and are awaiting our response.
Oh, well, let's surrender. I don't feel like fighting today.
Is led by Xiahou Ba.
Even though you can't play this battle as him.
Looks like the stories about Shu taking him in were true then.
There is no room here to show any mercy because of past attachments. He is too strong to defeat without total commitment.
I thought you were at the capital rooting out traitors.
I know. If we're going to
do this, the deep state people fighting against Sima Zhao.
I know he would expect nothing less.
Jia Chong is going to deal with all those Obama sympathizers.
Jian Wei is leading this invasion. If we can take him out, the Shu army should retreat pretty quickly.
Yeah, but we're still like 2,000 freaking things away from the next objective. Okay, never mind. We got a whole bunch of objectives to choose from. So we will wait in ambush. It's probably like mountains and chasms and uncrossable stuff if I try to go on a direct path, but I feel like trying anyway. Well, there's a ginormous river. Just broke all 4 of our horse's legs. I like how as the main leader of the entire kingdom, we are out personally riding with no attendants, just setting up one-man ambushes, apparently. Okay, it's a Bujang Plains, North Camp. Trying to find a way to navigate up this mountain. As nutsy cuckoo as I am about trying to climb mountains in these games, that one looked pretty undoable from the angle I was initially facing it from. I certainly seem to control all of these zones. Lumber. Yes, we just passed through an ancient Chinese lumber liquidators. Again, it's one of our camps. Hopefully this mission will be beatable. We've come across plenty that weren't. Alright, let's have a little chit-chat with Deng Ai. See what's up.
I will embark upon my mission.
Okay.
This plan cannot fail to repel the enemy.
If you say so.
We will draw the Shu forces as far as Duangu, where we will attack them as one. All forces, be aware of your roles and fight bravely.
Know your roles and shut your mouths. So I'm supposed to lure them in, not defeat them, right? Well, they have little X's over them. This happens in some of the Samurai Warriors games. They'll have like a little X over their name so you know not to fight them.
You're attacking on
You're joking. All right. Prepare yourself.
See, I probably could just kill them, but I'll try to do it the right way. You guys still coming? Maybe the horse is making it difficult. Too fast with the horse. Yeah, like if you're not right in their freaking face, they, I guess you can kind of tell if you put your sword away, you've gotten too far away.
Now, rip
Oh,
the enemy
this
to
is okay. I was about to
shreds.
say this is it. I was like, where? What happened to the goal?
Enemies all around here. They're trying to surround us. Run! Run for it!
Run for your lives!
We cannot afford to lose this position. I shall personally see to its defense.
The mission is a success. Press onwards to the enemy main camp.
Good. Now I can finally go home.
Game over, yeah. That was all I had to do in this mission. It's actually a fairly short list of missions we got to do here. They're not going to let me... They're really not going to let me fast travel to any place significantly closer than I already am. So let's just find a path up the mountain and get there as directly as possible. There was some rather pleasant music playing. I just completely covered it up with the sound of the horse. In a weird way, this reminds me, Red Dead Redemption 2 is supposed to be coming out fairly soon. I'm looking forward to that. I'm kind of torn about Let's Playing it before I've played it, but I don't imagine I'll be able to put in all the hours playing it and then not feel weird about the fact that I'm not Let's Playing it. So. Check enemy rear base.
The enemy has cut deep into our ranks, but this is one territory I refuse to simply hand over.
We got up to 1,000 KOs. They're not kills, guys. They're KOs. Somebody was upset that I killed an officer or a supply captain who was asking for mercy. I never did. I just KO'd him.
Launch the siege weapons! That ought to keep the way from attacking recklessly.
You don't really know how I operate, buddy. Hey, I've obtained a gem.
I have no choice but to withdraw for now. This will put an end to our siege weapon assault.
They are deploying their forces here. My
New forces here.
Good. Now I can finally go home.
Yeah, I can finally deploy my forces here.
That was quite a spectacle. Truly amazing.
Simply outrageous. Gem. That was Gem. That's what
Your might is worthy of a true warrior of the Three Kingdoms.
If only there was a true warrior of the Three Kingdoms around here to have that might. Because your might is worthy of them, but you're not one of them. I discovered the base of supplies, so what a terrible shame that they will never go to my use. I'm confused. Where am I supposed to be going and why? Okay, there's a ton of places here that I can just fast travel to. So let me just fast travel to one of them, and when we come back next time, I will have completed my fast traveling, and we will be ready. Actually, I better just let it complete and pause in case we jump right into some exciting dialogue. We did not. When we come back next time, folks, more Sima Zhao action. I'm Mysterious JG. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.